Welcome back to another Sunday School Bible class. Today our lesson is entitled Jacob, His Journey, Stay, and Return. We have been talking about Isaac and Rebekah his wife and their two sons, Jacob and Esau.
When Isaac was 60 years old, his wife Rebekah had twin boys who were very different from each other. Esau, the firstborn, was very hairy, grew up to be a hunter, and was an unholy person who did not please God at all. His brother Jacob was smooth-skinned and desired and cared about the promises of God. We learned how Isaac, in his old age, went blind, he could not see, and wanted to give the special blessing to his eldest son, Esau. However, Jacob, being advised of his mother, tricked his blind father into giving him the blessing by pretending to be Esau. Esau became so angry, he said he was going to kill Jacob. We learned how Rebekah convinced Jacob and Isaac to let Jacob go to stay at her brother's house in another country.
This week's lesson is about what happened when Jacob went to stay at his uncle's house.
The journey was long and dangerous. Jacob had to travel alone and had no place to sleep at night, so he slept outside on the ground. One night, as Jacob was sleeping outside, God appeared to Jacob in a dream. In this dream, there was a ladder that went from heaven to earth, with angels going up and down the ladder. God spoke to Jacob and told him that he would be with him and help him. He would bring Jacob back to the land of Canaan someday. He promised Jacob that he would make of Jacob a great nation, as he had promised his grandfather Abraham. God promised Jacob that the Savior of the world would come from his family.
When Jacob woke up, because of the dream, he thought he was at the house of God. So he took a stone pillar and he anointed it with oil and called the name of the place Bethel. Bethel means house of God. And then he went on his journey.
Jacob eventually made it to his uncle Laban's house. When he got there, his uncle told him he could live there as long as he worked for him. Jacob took care of sheep, which was very hard work. Then Jacob married two of his uncle's daughters. In those days, a man was allowed by God to have more than one wife. To pay for staying at Laban's house and marrying his daughters, Jacob had to work 20 years. Jacob suffered with a lot of toil, hard work, and went through a lot of stress with his uncle Laban. Laban, his uncle, tricked and lied to Jacob many times. But God had blessed Jacob so that at the end of the 20 long, hard years, he was able to go back to the land of Canaan, his homeland. On his way back, a man met Jacob and told Jacob that Esau is coming to meet him with 400 men. Jacob immediately thought that Esau was coming to kill him for what he did to him 20 years earlier. So Jacob prayed and sent gifts and his entire family across a small river to meet Esau and his men to calm Esau so he would not be angry at him anymore. That night, when Jacob was all alone and scared, a man appeared to him that Jacob knew was an angel, and they began to wrestle. Jacob would not let go of the angel until the angel blessed him. The angel then changed Jacob's name to Israel. From that point on, all of Jacob's descendants, or the generations after Jacob, would be called the children of Israel. After the struggle, Jacob was a changed man. He now trusted in God instead of trying to do things his own way, and he walked with a limp. Jacob went over the small river and went straight to meet his brother Esau, What do you think Esau did? Esau hugged Jacob. Imagine, God worked it out. Esau wasn't mad at him anymore. God had answered Jacob's prayers. They hugged each other. They were no longer mad at each other. They spoke for a while, and of course Jacob showed Esau how God had blessed him and his family. He showed him all of his children and his wives and all of his cattle and how God had blessed him. So they spoke for a while, and then of course they went on their separate ways. Esau had started his own little country of people, and that country was called Edom. Now Jacob went on to the land of Canaan in peace to raise his family. Okay, now in our next lesson, we're going to find out what happens to Jacob and his family while they're living in the land of Canaan. Some of the best known stories of the Bible are going to be in our next upcoming lessons, so please be sure to come back faithfully for every lesson. You don't want to miss this. See you later. Bye-bye.